What's going on, everybody? My name is Moody here on Afrovibes TV on Moody Minutes, where every minute is different. I'm here with my mom.
Hi, my name is Cindy McPherson. How are you?
How you been on this lovely day today?
Pretty good.
Yep.
Good. No complaints.
So I got some interesting questions that's targeting on this episode more of the younger audience, especially the females. You know, so we're gonna get straight into it. So, so I've been kind of curious, just growing up, and seeing, how you transformed into the woman you are now. Of what lessons have you learned from being married? Like, what's the key things you learned just from experiencing that? So I know a lot of young girls want to get married as soon as possible. So what kind of advice do you have for these younger audiences out here?
I would say make sure you know yourself first. Of course, you have to have that relationship with God. That's probably first and foremost. You have to have a relationship with God. Know who you are, know whose you are, and establish what your goals are in life. And in doing so, it'll better ground you to set boundaries and have the true expectations you need. That's not just based on money, what someone can do for you type of situations. And just take your time.
And why do you think a lot of women want to rush to get married so fast? And do you think it's worth it?
I think anything that aligns with your purpose in life is worth it. Again, understanding who you are, not rushing. I think that many may want to rush into do something because it sounds exciting. It's something fun. It sounds like it's something that it's going to make them fit in. Make them feel like they're a part of something, like they've accomplished something.
Yeah. And to kind of piggyback off that question, the next question would be, what's something you thought that was important in your 20s that doesn't really matter to you now that people can feed off of?
Well, when I was in my 20s, I wanted to be perfect. I wanted I want everything to be right. I wanted everything to align with what Cindy thought, what Cindy felt, and also looked at what other people thought of me. And now I'm not going to say I don't care what people think, but what I think and what I feel matters more. I do things according to what my visions are, what my goals are, and not what other people think and what other people feel. And now the people in my life, they align with that more so me trying to align with people because I wanted to fit in.
And why did you want to fit in at that young age? It will help to change from that mindset.
I think the peer pressure of just wanting to, you're trying to figure yourself out. You want to be the best version of yourself. You have no clue at the age of 20 something. You're still trying to figure things out. That's why we still go to our parents, right?
Yeah.
But as I got older and I experienced different life lessons and I put myself first and learned from those lessons the hard way, it just made me better understand that me as an individual was enough and whatever I wanted was enough and start to shoot for my own goals instead of worrying about measuring up and shooting for someone else's goals or just to fit in. Yeah.
So what would you say was the hardest decision you ever made?
The hardest decision I've ever made. So I was raised by my dad. I'd like to say he probably raised me to be more like a guy. He got rid of a lot of characteristics that he didn't particularly care from women, the complaining and, those types of things. But he fell sick, and towards the end of his battle with cancer, he wasn't able to do everything that he was able to do before. And seeing such a strong man, no longer strong anymore, and I was his strength. I had to make a decision to take on affairs that I depended on him for, and that took his strength away. That was very hard.
So knowing that what you've been through and how that was being hard and, It was hard on, the whole family and stuff like that. Experiencing that and other things that was traumatic in your life, what legacy do you want to leave behind for your kids, for just the whole family, for your friends? Like, what message do you want? Like, when you're gone, what do you want to be remembered by?
I want to be remembered for being imperfectly perfect,
It's a real
um, authentically myself,
one.
not trying to people please, going after what I want to go after, not putting off anything that I could do today. I would rather do it today than putting it off for tomorrow. Being a go-getter, never second guessing yourself. Even if you fail, that's an opportunity to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think a lot of, I like how you brought that up, being a go-getter and being a woman? A lot of people, females in my generation, they kind of want to, the majority want to, they want to kind of depend on the male. What shaped you, like, what shaped you into being like a go-getter and being that independent woman to help these young ladies out here to make sure they have their own foundation and not rely on no man?
Well, okay. So from my perspective, I am 51 years old, and I've experienced my own ups and downs, I would say. And a lot of us as women, we are very strong-minded. We know what we want. Um, some of us look down at men and say, well, that they can't do this for me, or they can't provide this for me or that for me. Um, then I don't want to be with that person.
Mm.
But really, you have to do a lot of self-reflecting.
Mhm.
And what is it that we bring to the table? What is it that we want? Because what we put out is what we'll attract. It's like it's a universe thing, and the aura that we attract. We can't request something from someone that we're not willing to give ourselves. We have to have our own goals. We have to have ambition to seek
Mhm.
and want to be the best version of ourselves and bring that to a relationship, because a relationship is about being an asset to someone, not an ass, an asset.
So why do you think a lot of girlfriend and boyfriends end? Like, why do you think a lot of marriages end? Why do you think it's so normalized now? Now it's what it seems like. Why people would just, is it so easy to just forget a divorce, to the breakup? Why is it so common now?
Well, because I believe that divorce is an option. And if you're in a relationship, because I've been married and I've been divorced, so being transparent, I never wanted divorce to be an option. But what I failed to do in the very beginning of the relationship is to understand who I was, set my boundaries, and not cross my own boundaries.
Yeah.
And in doing so, I set not only myself up for failure, I set the marriage up for failure on my part because I didn't accept that person for who they were. I wanted them to change.
Yeah.
So because of that, people feel like they have the out to divorce. So if they're not doing what I want, they're not making me happy, then I'm out.
Yeah, and I got that bad too, because like I got a big heart, so if I see the red flags and stuff like that, I will kind of see past it and knowing like in my nature, I want to fix somebody. Like, and when they're not doing right, I'll try to just hold on so tight and just, just try to mold them. But I realize like they got to change for themselves. And then that also kind of had me like that kind of builds resentment from that person when they don't build up to that potential that you see them is see them on. So it's like I can't really blame nobody but myself for staying that long. A lot of people say like, oh, if my ex do it, but at the same time, you gotta look back and you gotta just be accountable for your actions and not waste your time and just not also waste their time, because sometimes people need to be alone to grow and being with somebody with that girlfriend or that husband or, wife, it can stunt your growth. And when you're alone, you see more things, 'cause that's all you got is yourself. So
And I'm glad that you're seeing that. Being my son, getting it at the age of 21 versus going through tough, hard lessons. Everything really and truly starts and ends with yourself.
yeah,
Perspective is key. We can't continue to point the finger at no one but ourselves if we are in a situation that we don't like. If we're in a situation we're so busy pointing the finger, well, he did this or she did that, you have to look at the common denominator is you.
Yeah.
You're in that situation. So what you choose to do, whether you stay or go, or stay and complain or not, that's a choice. You don't
It
have.
all fall back on you
Yes.
at the end of the day.
Yes, it really does. Yes.
So another question I've been wondering, because a lot of people struggle with this one. What has grief taught you like about love?
I am a hopeless romantic by nature. I absolutely
Same way. Same way.
love. So what grief has taught me is to love unconditionally and not to let that go, but to be very selective in who I give that love to
Mm.
and not just give it to everyone. Everyone is not deserving of it. They have to earn it. And if someone's words and actions don't measure up, then I have to learn to step back because losing, I can say my father has taught me to embrace being with those that do love you and be appreciative of those that love you and not just take for granted that they'll always be there because they won't be there.
I think it taught me like it definitely taught me like one of the worst feelings is you kind of you want to bond somebody that's like close and and it ain't like say y'all got into like an argument and then like the next week or so like you found out they passed away, all that stuff and like during that time period before they passed away, when you think like, should I, hit them up? Should I call them? Should I, get it right? Seeing that now, like the reasons of like, I always ask myself, why didn't I do that? Because I can't do it no more. Like they're gone forever, and it sounds cliche, but when they're gone forever. You never get to talk to them ever again. You never hear their voice again. You got a spirit around you, of course, all that, but is it really worth holding your pride and not talking to that person, no matter what they did? And God forgive us for our sins, so why can't we forgive those people? Because the closest ones are going to, hurt you, disappoint you. But what matters is are they intended to do that or not? But that definitely shaped me as a person, just to appreciate everybody that's alive right now. And that definitely matured me as a man because I want to, like, if I get to somebody, I need my little time and I come back as soon as I can. Like, hey, what's going on? I'm sorry for this. I'm sorry for that. So that was the main thing that really shaped me as a person. So the kind of blessing in disguise, I'm kind of thankful that I went through it, but I'm not, it still hurts, but it definitely helped me grow as a man because it's a different feeling.
It is.
It's
Because
a
when
different
they're
feeling.
gone, they're gone. There is no do-overs.
Yep.
There's no more do-overs.
So what's some things that like how should I put it? What's your why? Like in the morning, why do you get up? Like what's your everyday why? Like why do you get up, go to work every day? Why do you, take care of yourself, take care of your family? Why do you always make these family gatherings, having everybody close? Because y'all don't know about this, but my grandpa was alive. I always said this. He was like the thumb of the family. He said all the gatherings. He did everything as a kid. Like we was all the one big happy family, And then when he kind of, passed away, unfortunately, it was kind of like a little hump. But then now my mom and my uncle and my granny, they starting to do more gatherings, And I always pray for this, and I'm so proud of them. So to piggyback off what you were saying about, the griefs and what you learned and what I learned and stuff like that, how do you carry pain or loss while showing up for others that's still present on earth?
How do I carry the pain while continuing to function, basically?
So,
And I know this might sound cliche, but my belief and my relationship with God, it's a constant.
mhm,
It's throughout the day, all day. Even when I don't feel like it, I have to stay connected
mhm,
because we are not perfect. And there are times when I don't want to be that peace. I don't want to be you know. But because he has instilled that peace in me, I refuse to have anything disrupt that. And by doing so, it allows me to try to have a level playing field, a calm demeanor, and be able to carry any loads or any adversity that might come my way, even when I'm already going through my own thing, you know.
So do you think you'd be the same person without having a bond with God?
Absolutely not.
Why?
I wouldn't even be, I couldn't even imagine what that looks like. You know, because that peace I wouldn't imagine having peace.
Mm.
It would be chaos. I would be the Tasmanian devil.
Shoot, I feel like if I have a bond with God, I probably wouldn't even be here, honestly.
Right.
Like
Right.
I would, that's why I can only I can't even imagine what would I do, what would I go to, right? What if I didn't believe in God? Like
But what's your
it's
source
like
of
what do you
strength?
go, what do you fall back on,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So
No, I wouldn't even want to imagine what that looks like. There's too many loved ones, there's too many friends, there's too many relationships that bring you so much love.
mhm,
And with that peace that you have with God, you wouldn't even be able to enjoy that,
mhm.
you know.
It's also kind of confusing to with dealing with God because some people do well, a lot of people they have like a persona, like a mask, and kind of have like a mask of having a bond with God, you know, and saying this and knowing all the verses in the Bible, but it's still like it doesn't show in the actions. So like what do you have to say about those type of people? Like
I
about that?
I would pray. Pray for those types of people,
Like where do you start though?
you
Like
know,
because some people
because
might not know where to start to like pray or be confused or like, you know, just nervous on what to say or I don't know what to say. Like how do you think like what is the first step uh, a human should do to have that first step to become a Bible guy?
be yourself. He created you. He already knows what you're thinking. He already knows what your fears are. He already knows what you want, what you don't want. He already knows everything. So, like the conversation we're having now,
Mhm.
just talk to God. Just, God, hey, I'm tripping, they tripping. I don't know how to pray. Guide me on what to do. I just know that without you, I just don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think. I'm mad. I'm angry. I'm pissed.
Mhm.
I'm hurt. I don't even know if I believe in you right now. Are you even here? God will talk to you. And it's amazing because He will give you that peace that truly surpasses all understanding in the midst of what you consider to be a storm. And He'll redirect it and turn it around right before your eyes.
Mhm.
And I got goosebumps just saying that because I believe that without a shadow of a doubt. And you just start by having a conversation. That's all he wants
Mhm.
is your time. And what you'll notice is when it's turmoil and things are going bad, you're like, why is this happening to me? You can't hear God in the midst of a storm when it's loud. He wants you to hear him when it's quiet because he's gonna whisper. And that's the only time you can hear him, but you gotta learn to sit still and get quiet with him.
Mhm.
And most people don't get that way until they hit rock bottom.
Yeah, and most people just only pray when they need
When they
something.
need something.
That's not like a real genuine bond. It's not. That's not.
But God is a forgiving God. He's an understanding God. Even being that way, you can be a baby for so long,
Yeah.
but you gotta grow.
So was there ever a time where you were mad at God or asked him like, why me? Was there ever times like that? And then if there were times like that, how did you go about it?
I'm not gonna say I ever asked why me. I've always asked to help me get through it because I never doubted God being present. I asked him to change my perspective,
You
help me to
that's a big one.
understand the why, because there's always a reason why, and his plan may not be my plan.
Yeah.
And so I don't ask why me because I don't know if I want to know that answer. But what I will ask, like I said, is I will ask him to help guide me through it so that way I don't stay in it longer than I have to.
And for the people that have felt like, you know, why me, or they feel like a lot of events are happening in their lives that's negative, and I have like them with dealing with that. I have thought that of like why me. Because for example, like when I was in high school, I was a good athlete. I was good at track and all that, but it's like every other week I just kept injuring. You got an injury. Next week you got an injury. And then going in the college, I was walk on for U of H freshman year, and then I was feeling good. I was happy. I missed the walk on team, all that. Then first day of practice, guess what? I pulled my hamstring. So then that did take me into like a deep state. And I used to just think like, why me? Like, why is this happening to me? But like my mama said, like it's all about perspective, and that's one of the main reasons what shaped me as a man today too. Is like that taught me to don't give up and to keep pivoting and because I was this close to just dropping out of college saying f that f this, but I'm using this like I'm using all that I went through with injuries and not getting my way as fuel to just pivot to something else, you know, and and I'm thankful for that, because now I'm in the modeling now, and I'm actually have a passion to get my degree now. At first, I was came to college just to be on the track team because I didn't get to do sports like that in high school. But now it's just it's crazy how this life can just teach you lessons and God can teach you lessons. That's why it's really really important to have a bond with God.
Absolutely.
So
Very.
what's one rule that you live by, like day to day on a day to day basis that you remind yourself?
Never live with regret.
And why is that? Why do you think people sit and live with regret?
Because then you're not living. You always try, even if you fail. That's an opportunity to learn.
Yeah.
Never have regret in doing anything because you only get one life to live.
Mm.
One life to live. So if you are constantly trying and put forth the effort and you're going to be successful. You're going to be better at it. You'll be better than you were. But never live with regret because time is the one thing that you'll never get back. You'll never get that back. So you should always try, just don't live with any regrets.
It's also a question that has been sparking around, especially in Gen Z, my generation, and stuff like that. A lot of people my age, we see on TikTok, go on Instagram, social media, we see all these young dudes, young females, like 21, 23, 24, 20, with SRT Hellcats. You got the big houses at the young ages, castanets, you know, Quan. So I'm gonna ask you, a person that has experience in this world. Do you think money truly brings happiness, and do you think money fulfills you?
Okay.
Because our generation, we think it does. So what do you have to say about it? Being here longer than us.
So money, of course, makes things easier. Who doesn't like money, right? I like money. I like to travel. I like to buy things. I like to get furniture. I like to buy slingshot. I like to do a lot of things.
Hmm.
But happiness is from within. Happiness is the intangible. It's what you can't touch. Money you can touch. Money is temporary. When people get of age, like you're young, you're invincible, nothing can stop you. You want to pop a ticket, you want money, you want to be able to do all these things. But when the end of the time comes or you get sick, money, the last thing that's going to be on your mind. You're going to want love, you're going to want family, you're going to want stability, you're going to want things that you can't touch, that's intangible to be a part of your life. You can't take money with you, but money, I will say it does alleviate some stress,
Mm.
but you'll have to also remember that money and things that you purchase with it, it's all temporary. It's tangible things that can be taken in the blink of an eye.
Yeah. And I was telling my friend this, actually yesterday on the game, like I see material things as like this, like just in your house or wherever you at, just look at what you do got. Like for example, for me, I like the fashion, all that stuff. So for me, for example, for shoes, I bought some shoes. I'll be hyped like, oh yeah, I got some new shoes. I got all these new fits I'm gonna wear with it, and all that. Then like the shoes come. I'm trying to style fits and all that stuff. I'm up at like 4 a.m. for like 3 days straight. Just happy that I got the new shoes and all that. But then like as time go on, like I walk in my room. I be forgetting I got this shoe. So and yeah, I do want a fast car one day, all that type of stuff. But that analogy of the shoes is like you get it. It's like a burst of happiness, temporary happiness, I should say, and then it's like you kind of just forget about it. You're on to the next thing, and it's like a repeated cycle over and over and over again. And you got people that's millionaires that kill themselves every day. There's loneliness and all that. Cause like you chasing, and I always tell my friends like, "Where we at right now?"
It's
Yeah,
like chasing a constant high.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I tell my friends all the time, like, where we at right now, our age, 21, 20, 22, is like, right now is our climax of our life. We're trying to figure out what we want to do, all that type of stuff. So when we kind of get older, it's more so of like, I see it as giving back. It's not more so of like,
Mhm.
because after I got everything, what else I'm gonna do? I'm just be in a house. I got a Ferrari outside, a big house. It's just now what, and now I see it as just giving as much wisdom as I can to other people, help other people, and impact other lives, until it's my time to go. That's why I think that's what makes me, my life go whole. Just giving back and just helping people out, and because it's not a people that's like this haters, like it's not a ungenuine people. It's like so. I want to be that light to, give back and make sure like they got it, to remind people that there are genuine people that's in this world, you know.
Yeah, and there are, when it comes to money, when it comes to women, when it comes to men, all of those things, it's like you're chasing something, you're looking for something. But and everybody wants it, it's quick. I want it now. I want it. You got to be like this kind of person. You got to be. I want it. It's gonna make me happy right now. But at the end of the day, a lot of people are unhappy. A lot of people are empty on the inside because they're so busy chasing things
Yeah.
versus looking within. And if you focus on what's within, you're richer than any money that you can ever have or any person that you can ever be with. So money, people, material things, they add to you as an asset. They shouldn't withdraw from you because you should be able to stand by yourself in a room of silence
Mhm.
and be content and happy with who you are as an individual.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't do that. They got to be attached to their phones. They got to be attached with their friends. They got to be at the latest event. They got to be with the hottest guy or the hottest girl or whatever the case may be to have that happiness. And ultimately, at the end of the day, they're unhappy. They don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
So spend more time with yourself.
Everybody, thanks for tuning in to Moody Minutes on Afrovibes TV. Hearing my beautiful mom,
Thank
and
you.
I'm gonna see y'all on the next one. Have a good one.